Some vessels, vehicles, or physical bodies may, either when in gestation or may later develop certain mental and or physical problems, deformations, or some rare diseases. This phenomenon may be due to the spiritual content, the vibrational frequency of the being who is incarnating. Not always, but sometimes the big dude's incarnations, or simply an excess of non-human energy, can make the DNA material just go crazy, causing mutations and physical alterations that can affect body and mind. These powers trying to manifest themselves in the causal, or what we call physical reality, are more than subtle, especially during the creation of the body, while in gestation and pregnancy. Such conditions open interdimensional gates, sometimes to more than one plane. All of this happening besides the normal growing of the corporeal system, organs and connections in a singular body. The resultant body is sometimes thusly overloaded by the energetic expression, forced to contain and accumulate multiple spiritual layers in a stable form. An example is that in some African cultures, wherein the DNA mysteriously generates a mutation wherein the child becomes white, albino, with a total lack of melanin in the skin. These cultures from ancient times persecuted these different children to the point of dismembering their extremities or even killing them. They removed their legs or arms to use in ancient and primal forms of witchcraft because of the power contained within them. They believed that these amputated extremities were like magical amulets, highly powerful, with an incredible occult power. In other cultures, typically, the different ones were seen as an abomination and a punishment from God, usually for sins committed, and the child was seen as a symbol or an anchor of a divine curse, an abomination to remind of the horrors that can bring the Almighty. People used to abandon, sacrifice, and ceremonial practices or simply kill these special individuals as a form of expiation, channeled via these incarnates. Incarnates numbers are growing since the so-called Age of Aquarius. This is something channeled by multiple and different spiritual mediums, all kinds of practices, and is even a recognized fact by the New Age movement. The figure of the Dalai Lama, which is what we suspect an Andromedan type of prophet, is reincarnated, and his comings are more or less controlled by his own movement on the planet. Yeshua, well-known avatar of Christ consciousness, not only was a prophet and a magus, obviously, he was an incarnate. Even he connected his own divine aspects through meditation and isolation in the desert. He named himself as God and Son of God at the same time. Christianity confirms that, and they worship the prophet, the man, as God. They even worship more so Yeshua, rather than what they would have considered to be God had they known that Yahweh is only a son of El, also not God, also as is Yeshua and or Emmanuel, a son of El. Incarnates, usually, if they develop themselves, become avatars of a more potent voice than their human existence and body, as they are representatives of the information related to the divine self, or Deva's energy. They are famous singers, Hollywood stars, spiritual guides, and even psycho killers that we have identified as incarnates or fragmented. We have also identified famous spirits from the past and minor demonic entities or demigods who failed in their initial mission, their spiritual will. Do not be surprised if you are, or find an incarnate of any kind and they are not developed magically and not displaying miracles or obvious traces of divinity. Within the realm of magic, or within the vampiric current, people expect fantastic skills in strong physical shapeshifting. That is just another trick of some to keep you from believing in new gods incarnated here, to keep the status quo, to make you question incarnates whom divinity themselves claim to be as such, and to just believe, if you believe, in the divine icons from the past, the established ones. These individuals can be perceived differently or not. They may be a young, shy boy who does not know anything about life yet, for example. Fuller potency of the incarnate's essence must be connected to their source self and be liberated in order for them to recall, to unblock, through continuous spiritual practices, the appropriate aspects of their true self and, of course, continuous magic practice. Major entities, if they are stably incarnated, may achieve success to a major or minor degree. Keep in mind that success is to produce certain things or realities, not necessarily what you believe success and fame are. In fact, their missions can be pretty strange and sometimes hard to understand, because the chain of factors, the agendas, are superimposed sometimes, causing what is like a domino effect of events. Most of them were preparing the setting, over the centuries, even throughout prior incarnations and via spiritual interventions, for everything that was already known to be coming. Everything is connected. Nothing is truly mundane, because everything is conscious.
The Devil's Temple.